Q-106 bus unloads at the Captain Nichols dock in South Haven.
We are here.
All right.
Dudes. A radio guy.
Hello.
Looking good today.
Huh?
Looking good today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's Ron. Ron, the bus driver, is a fun guy.
Yep.
Say hi, Ron. Wave to everybody.
Uncle Tim Barron is the mid-Michigan radio star, but meet Rob Lobster. He'll be the star of the next 10 minutes. Radio people can be a wacky group, and Q-106 is at the top. I think the bus trip might have helped. How's it going to be, Captain?
Oh, I think it'll be all right.
Here's the scenario. This is what I heard. Tell me if this is true. This morning you went out 5-foot rollers. A lot of people spending time overboard and in the bathrooms. Right at the end, it started calming down, and the fishing started picking up.
Right.
Now, does that mean, from all your years on the water, that it's going to be really good for us this afternoon?
I hope so. I think it should be.
You hope so.
All we get is I hope so. It will be on this boat.
Okay, well, good. We're looking forward to it. Normally, John Ford's camera seeks out the fishing story, but we're going to save that for 2 weeks from this show. Tonight, we're going to focus in on a subject that I've never approached on television: seasickness. Now, everybody's seen it, but when you're trying to promote fishing, you just don't talk about it. The Q-106 staff was on the boat, including General Manager Mark Stevens and behind-the-scenes producer Rob Lobster, as he's nicknamed on the air. Now, the guy with the ponytail is well-known radio voice Tim Barron, who's always taking anti-gun people to task and promoting pro-gun rights. Now, he's not a hunter, but he's one of the best friends sportsmen have on radio.
Yes.
Folks, I'll tell you, it's scaring me. Dad Trost here has been kind enough to unhook our lines, which got entangled. Did you do it? Yes. Let's hear it for Fred. Unfortunately, just as we got the lines untangled, Rob began to throw up.
Of course, this will be edited for television.
It certainly will.
As far as you know.
Saturday Night Live just talks about it. Rob's World, Rob's World.
It's going to be a practical yak.
That's right. We can't call it yakking outdoors.
No.
No, it's a practical yak.
Rob Dowding, known as Rob Lobster, is the best sport at motion sickness I've ever seen. You were observing. What did you like about this boat?
What do I like about it? I enjoy the way it goes up and down. Up and down. It's a wonderful feeling.
Now, normally we don't, we don't talk about this when we're out fishing. It kind of tends to spoil it for a lot of people.
You guys don't usually talk about it?
Oh, no.
Well, it's a natural part of the fishing experience. Some people are going to lose, their stomach. And Rob, look at Rob. He's a great producer, but boy, he can't fish to save his life. How you doing, Rob?
I'm all right.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go in and get a big, greasy hamburger. Wouldn't that be nice? Man, that's good eating.
How long is this trip? How long do we have left?
Hey, we only got about 3.5 hours left.
3.5 hours.
3 hours.
A 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
If I catch one, will you cut it up for me?
Yes, I'll gut that sucker right out for you.
So, Fred.
I tell you, he is the best sport I've ever seen. He is visibly pale.
He's the yactical sportsman.
I am the yactical sportsman. Join me, won't you, for a day of fishing on Lake Michigan. I don't feel well at all. I feel very lightheaded and rather sick.
Hey.
I understand if I put a circular piece of tape behind my ear, though, I'll be just fine. So if somebody would bring me one of those, I would appreciate it.
Most people, when we come on this boat or other boats, somebody starts to get a little sick and you don't say anything. You tiptoe around and think maybe they'll get better.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand, I am Drama Man. I will pursue this fishing trip and I will prevail. I will conquer the Perch.
Oh, he is being a real trooper about this. Do you think, what's your guess? Are you going to hurl?
I will hurl before the day is over. I will hurl. So if you get out the yak cam, there will be some wonderful footage for the next show. It will be a Technicolor burp.
Hey, Fred, aren't you glad you brought radio people?
Hey, radio people are great. They do everything so graphically verbal.
Yes.
After the first hour, Rob Lobster visibly slipped from pink to pale, in fact, sort of yellow even. His posture dropped from standing to leaning on his elbows. But somehow, he still retained his sense of humor.
Oh, this is nice.
Oh, yes, it's on.
Push it once.
Oh, but you're feeling okay.
I'm great. This is fun. I mean, you know, Q-106, the practical sports guy. How could it fail, Fred?
And I tell you, we got the best stand-up kneel-down comic.
No man.
He's going to be known as a kneel-down comic.
Yes, sir. He's looking pretty grim too. Look at him.
I'm really, seriously, I am not feeling well right now.
You know, he's going to get an award for the most protracted yak.
Just to give us an idea of what's to come, how many hot dogs did you have for lunch?
I had 3 hot dogs for lunch, and I have had consumed mass quantities of Miller Genuine Draft Light.
He's plugging the beer.
I am plugging beer.
Well, we'll get to see it pretty quick.
Mind you, the beer had nothing to do with this. It's a fine beer. It's a fine beer. In fact, I feel much better now because of the beer. If someone would only grab me a beer, I would probably be okay.
You want one?
I'd love a beer.
Yes, I bet.
What kind of beer is that?
That would be Miller Genuine Draft Light. I have to watch his figure, you know.
He's making me kind of sweaty just
Oh,
talking about
I'm
this.
very worried, Fred.
I'm trembling now.
he's gonna
I'm
go.
into the trembling stage.
He's going to do it at any minute.
I am now trembling, and I have that, you know, that sweet, sour, whatever. It's like a smell taste. It's kind of like a smell and a taste.
Yeah, it is both.
It's a smell and a taste. It's right in here somewhere.
You're going to make me throw up. You keep talking about it.
He's very convincing.
Oh, man, that's gross.
There's a reason for that, Fred. I am actually sick. I'm practically sick.
Oh, man.
No wonder you don't give him a microphone, Tim.
I know, man. That's why we keep him quiet. All he does is throw up every time.
I get sick on the air a lot, too. Of course, you don't hear about that part.
You can't take him anywhere. He
The
gets
George Bush of the radio world.
No, he does. We keep all Asian folk out of the studio. He heads right for their lap. It's very embarrassing.
Really, Lake Michigan was quite calm, but Rob didn't cheer up. In fact, we watched him slip down from the top rail to the middle rail, and with his declining posture, his sense of humor also faded. But one of the Q-106 fans on the boat came to Rob's rescue with wrist bracelets and pills that he said didn't taste so good at the time.
It tastes like crap. How can anything that tastes like crap make you feel good?
It's supposed to be orange flavored.
It tastes like orange crap.
Well, these pills were Dramamine that usually don't do much good after you're sick, but these wrist bracelets for pressure points are supposed to help even if you are queasy.
Good night, Irene.
So now look at Rob here. So what do you think? You smile when you see that.
He'll be all right as soon as we get back to shore. So,
Yeah. He's quite amusing, though, isn't he?
oh yeah, yeah.
Well, last week's episode of Rob doubting and his bout with seasickness brought mixed reviews. Some thought it was very funny, some thought it was offensive, but it's a part of Great Lakes fishing, and the Captain Nichols party boats at South Haven see it, even on days like this that weren't rough at all. The afternoon last summer with radio station Q-106 was spent over schools of perch, like we saw on the graph, suspended schools, as well as perch, which were right on the bottom. Now, a number of people had extraordinary success that afternoon, catching 2 perch at a time.
Oh gosh, I think this one's going too.
Oh!
Another double.
2 fish at once. Hey, that's a perch fisherman's dream.
All right.
Well, when the perch fishing is hot, it's not unusual to have a big school grabbing bait left and right, competing for the food that anglers drop down wrapped around hidden hooks.
Double.
Go ahead and swing him up. Swing him right up. Get him over. Things are happening, eh?
A little bit.
There goes one up there. That's a good size one. They're jumping into the boat now.
Oh boy, I tell you, this is great fishing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You guys are cleaning up here at the bow.
Look at the size.
That is awesome.
Take a look at the size of the perch in this bucket. Hey, how do you catch a jumbo like that?
You know, it's from watching the practical sports.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I tell you,
Trying
you got
to get
the
on
touch.
the end of the show, I think.
You got the touch, that's for sure. Wow, that was an unusually large perch, the kind that are caught at certain times of the year. Now, on the Captain Nichols, the big one wins the daily jackpot, but a lot of local folks want to know how Q-106 radio personality Tim Barron did that day. Oh, Barron has a double. Barron has a double. Hey, what about that?
What? What about you want to do?
Got one?
There you go.
Yeah, man.
We're not messing around here, Fred.
Yeah, where are you, Trost? It's a double, dude.
Well, as they say on Q-106, see ya! And we'll see ya in South Haven. We're going back in 2 weeks.